Have you ever stopped to think about what it truly means to have free will? Most of us believe free will is the ability to make choices, that we are the authors of our decisions. But is that really true? Let me ask you, did you choose to be born? Did you choose your family, the place where you grew up, or the conditions of your life? Think about all the events and circumstances that shaped who you are today. How many of them were really under your control? Now, look at the present. Sure, you can decide what to eat for dinner or what clothes to wear tomorrow, but are those choices really free? Reflect for a moment. Why do you prefer one food over another? Why do you choose a specific outfit? These preferences didn't appear out of nowhere. They were shaped by your genetics, the environment you grew up in, and your past experiences. And what about the thoughts that lead to those choices? Do you control them? Try this. Close your eyes and attempt to stop thinking. Just for a few seconds. What happens? Thoughts keep arising, as if they have a will of their own. You didn't choose them, they simply appeared. So if you don't control your thoughts, your preferences, or the events around you, where is your free will? Perhaps what we call me, this sense of being someone in control, is just a story, a narrative we tell ourselves to make sense of what happens. But what if, deep down, you're not the author, but the witness? Do you believe you are who you think you are? That your thoughts, memories, and stories create your identity? What if I told you that this identity is just a mental construct, a program running automatically in your mind? From an early age, we begin building a story about who we are. This story is made up of memories, judgments, desires, and aversions. Over time, it becomes what we call me. This me, the ego, is the voice in your head that says, I am this, I did that, I need to control. But the ego is nothing more than a collection of thoughts you've identified with. And here's the thing, those thoughts aren't yours. They arise spontaneously, like clouds in the sky. You don't choose to think. Thinking just happens. But we identify with these thoughts. When a thought like, I'm not good enough, or I need to be better, arises, we believe it without question. We don't stop to ask, is this thought true? Does it define me? And this is how the ego is formed, by identifying with the constant stream of thoughts. But what if you aren't your thoughts? Try this experiment. Observe the next thought that arises in your mind. Don't try to control it, just watch it. Notice that you are the awareness observing the thought, not the thought itself. This is the first step to stepping out of the mental matrix, realizing that the me who thinks it's in control doesn't exist. And when you realize this, something shifts. You start to see that trying to control life is like trying to hold water in your hands. The tighter you squeeze, the more it slips away. When you begin to see that the ego and control are illusions, the question becomes, what can you do? How do you live in this flow? The answer isn't about doing more. It's about observing more. Think about something that happened recently that made you frustrated or anxious. Maybe you missed a deadline, argued with someone, or faced an unexpected challenge. Now, ask yourself, what really caused the suffering? Was it the event itself, or the way you reacted to it? Notice how the ego always tries to resist reality. When something doesn't go as planned, it creates stories. This shouldn't have happened. This is unfair. Why me? These stories amplify the suffering. But what if instead of resisting, you simply accepted, not in resignation, but as an openness to the present moment? Let's think about traffic again. You're stuck, late for an appointment. The ego kicks in. This is ridiculous. Why is this happening to me? That thought creates anxiety, anger, maybe even despair. But stop for a moment. Observe the traffic. Accept that it's there, that you can't change it. What happens when you do that? The tension eases. You realize you don't have to fight against what's already happening. And from that acceptance, something new emerges. Clarity. You start to see options that were hidden before. Maybe you can use that time to listen to music, reflect on something important, or simply breathe deeply and be present. This is the key. Accepting the present moment isn't giving up. It's letting go of resistance. And when you let go of resistance, you see reality more clearly. Letting life flow doesn't mean you stop acting. You still make choices, still take action. But now, those actions come from a place of calm, not struggle. Think of a river. It doesn't fight against the rocks in its path. It flows around them, naturally finding its way. Life works the same way. And when you stop trying to control everything, you realize that true power isn't forcing life to meet your expectations. True power is aligning yourself with life's natural flow. This doesn't mean life will always be easy. The world will still have its conflicts, challenges, ups and downs. But when you live from a place of mental silence, those challenges no longer knock you down. They become part of the flow. And so ask yourself, what's holding you back? What stories are you still telling yourself? And what would happen if you just let them go? It's not about controlling life. It's not about escaping it. It's about accepting it. It's about aligning yourself with what already is. Accept, live, be. And in the silent space that remains, you'll find your true essence. That's where change begins. And when you change, the world changes with you. True change comes from within. So, what does this mean for your life? So often, we look outside ourselves for answers. We search for ways to escape this world of conflict, suffering, and uncertainty. We fantasize about some ideal paradise where everything will be perfect, where there will be no pain, where we'll finally find peace. But this search for a place outside of reality, a refuge, is just another trap of the mind. Stepping out of the matrix isn't about running away from the external world. It's not about creating a mental utopia or denying reality. Quite the opposite. It's about being fully present, here and now. It's about living authentically, without the masks of the ego, without the illusions we create to protect ourselves. It's about being who we truly are at our core. And who are we at our essence? We are the awareness behind it all, the space where life happens, beyond thoughts, beyond the ego, beyond any idea of who we think we should be. There is a natural state of presence, a state of mental silence. This silence isn't empty, it's full. It's where you find the clarity, peace, and freedom you've been searching for. But here's the truth. The change you seek, the transformation you long for, will never come from the outside. You can change your job, your city, your relationship. You can even achieve all the goals you've set for yourself. But without an internal shift, the emptiness will remain, because the external world is only a reflection of what's within you. True change begins within. When you change the way you see the world begins to change. When you stop fighting reality, it transforms. When you align with life's natural flow, everything starts to make sense. The external change, when it happens, is just a consequence. And that doesn't mean life will always be easy. The world will still be full of conflicts, challenges, ups and downs. But when you live from the silence, you are rooted in your essence. And from that place, nothing can shake you. This isn't a journey to escape the world. It's a journey to fully inhabit it with clarity, presence, and authenticity. It's about living from who you truly are, beyond the illusions of the ego, beyond the thoughts that tie you to the past or project you into the future. It's about being here, now. And in the end, there's nothing more simple and yet more powerful than that. Everything that happens naturally. Life flows like a river, and you are both part of the flow and the awareness that observes it. So I invite you to reflect. What's holding you back? What stories are you still telling yourself? And what would happen if you simply let them go? It's not about controlling life. It's not about escaping it. It's about accepting it. Accept, live, let it flow. And remember, everything you're looking for is already there, within you. The matrix is complex, but each of us holds a part of the solution. Drop your thoughts in the comments, and together we'll see beyond appearances.